The field where we were hoping to get this ball game underway on time. Boy, it was beautiful this afternoon. It was warm and breezy down here at the ballpark. Had the makings of one of those great days to be a hitter.
Unfortunately, it's a night game.
Yeah, but in the last 20 minutes or so, the skies have darkened, and we are under the threat of a pretty good storm headed our way. So we are in a rain delay, and we understand that it's probably going to be at least an hour. So we've got some programming lined up for you until we are ready to play baseball. We'll have an Indians roundtable and an installment of Tee It Up Ohio to follow that. And hopefully by 8 o'clock, we'll be ready to play baseball.
I hope so. I mean, we've got a good matchup today. Justin Masterson going up against Clay Buchholz. So it's a good matchup. Boston in town. Let's get them in.
All right, well, we'll be back at 8 o'clock regardless to let you know what's going on. Hopefully, we'll be ready to play baseball. Until then, enjoy Indians Roundtable. It's 1948, the last year the Indians won the World Series. The 29-15 start by the Tribe equals their 5th best start in franchise history. The best start ever, authored by this man in 1995 when the Indians were 33-11 after just 44 games. Mike, I want to talk, though, about Asdrubal Cabrera, because yesterday he had as good a day as a shortstop has ever had probably in Indians history. 5 hits and 5 runs batted in. And what about the power this young man has shown?
Well, he's a strong kid. I say kid. He's a young man. He's got a good stroke. He stays back on the ball well, uses the entire field. And when he gets his pitch, he can elevate it and hit it out of the ballpark. And as he did yesterday, yesterday's game doesn't surprise me. With him offensively, he's got that ability every day.
Only the second shortstop since 1920 to have 5 hits, 5 ribbies, 2 homers in a single game. Well, Rick, Justin Masterson has really owned the team that traded him, the Boston Red Sox. Every time he
0-1 against the Indians with an 8.10 ERA. You don't worry about that. You want the big man on the mound to pitch like he did last year. He shut out his former team, and now they realize he is a starter. He's commanding his pitches much better. He is repeating his delivery. He has kept the Indians in almost every game he has pitched this year, I think, but one. So he has something to prove. He wants to go back out there, and he'll have a little bit more incentive.
In the offseason, the Boston Red Sox made it a priority to go after Adrian Gonzalez from the San Diego Padres. They gave up a lot to get him, but Ricky is really paying dividends so far this year.
Well, this guy has had a hot month of May. You can see in his last 13 games, 19 RBIs. He's starting to use that Fenway Park monster. He's going to hit for average. He's going to hit for power. One of the best hitters in the game of baseball. He's starting to turn it around like the rest of the Red Sox are.
And as a former first baseman, I'm sure you appreciate the way he plays defense as well.
Well, you watch his feet. Yeah, you do. You watch the way his feet react. I mean, he's very light on his feet. He gets himself into good positions to catch the ball and gives himself a chance. Got nice hands. He's a smooth athlete. And it's really, you watch the good athletes, and when they move, when they run, when they react, it looks like almost like they're in slow motion. They're so smooth, but they get there ahead of a lot of us.
All right, so it's the Indians and the Boston Red Sox. Great night for baseball here in downtown Cleveland. Asdrubal Cabrera coming off his historic day, matched up against Adrian Gonzalez and the Boston Red Sox. It's straight ahead on Sports Time Ohio. Well, the rain has moved through the area, and we are ready for baseball tonight here at Progressive Field as the Indians and the Boston Red Sox meet for the second time this year. The Tribe sweeping a 3-game series back in April from Boston. Justin Masterson on the hill, and while he makes his warm-up throws, We'll have a look at Terry Francona's starting lineup for Boston. Jacoby Ellsbury in the leadoff spot, followed by Dustin Pedroia, then Adrian Gonzalez, and then Kevin Youkilis batting cleanup, has hit in 10 straight. David Ortiz bats 5th, J.D. Drew 6th, then it's Jed Lowry, Carl Crawford, and Jared Saltalamacchia.
Justin Masterson on the mound, making his 10th start this year. Coming off a tough start, a 1-0 loss to the Chicago White Sox. Jake Peavy just outpitched Justin, who went 8 innings in a complete game and pitched a dandy. But not much to show for it. But if he can continue to pitch like that, you have nothing to worry about. And against the Red Sox last year, he was 2-0 and pitched 2 great games. He had a 2-hit shutout right here in Cleveland back in June. Let's take a look at the Indians defense, brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet, saluting the men and women defending our country and watching on the Armed Forces Network. It's Kearns, Brantley, and Chu in the outfield. It's Hanahan, or Asdrubal Cabrera at short, Orlando at second, Laporte at first, Marson behind the plate.
Paul Emmel will call the balls and strikes. Rob Drake is at first, David Rackley at second, and the acting crew chief, Bruce Dreckman, is at third. Gary Darling, normally the crew chief on this particular umpiring crew, is out. This is 2 crews in a row where the crew chief has been out of the lineup or on vacation leave. Jacoby Ellsbury will step in and get us underway. Boston, winners in 8 of their last 10, facing the Tribe. Indians have won 3 in a row. In addition to the Indians sweeping the series against Boston earlier this year here in Cleveland, Tribe has won 7 of their last 9, dating back to last year against the Red Sox. 2 balls, no strikes, the count here on Jacoby Ellsbury. And a strike call makes the count 2-1.
Well, the Red Sox lineup, 7 left-handers in the lineup, and left-handers this year off Masterson hitting .326, so he's going to have all his weapons tonight.
Back out of play. Dustin Pedroia waiting on deck. Then Adrian Gonzalez, all here in the first. One of the keys to the Indians sweeping that 3-game set from Boston back in April is the fact that they kept the Red Sox leadoff hitters off base. Boston hitters, when leading off an inning, so I'm not just talking about the guy at the top of the order, but leading off an inning, they were 1 for 24.
Well, another thing they weren't doing very well at the start of the year was hitting with runners in scoring position. They couldn't drive them in. That has changed in the month of May, as you figure it would with the veteran hitters.
And the 2-2 hit high in the air to left. Routine, though, for Austin Kearns. 1 down. All right, let's take a look at our injury report tonight. Grady Sizemore, according to manager Manny Acta, Grady Sizemore has a big test coming up on Wednesday. Says he's going to have to win the hot dog race. He has to beat Mustard in order to pass that test. Manny said that with a straight face to the media today, and I'm not sure everybody was caught on right away.
Mustard's tough. You have to wear elbow pads.
I mentioned that to Grady after he got done with batting practice, and he said, well, I think the kids might be running the bases that day, so the kids better watch out because I'm going to be out there running, getting ready to come back too. You could tell once again he's itching. He's anxious to get back in the lineup. And
he was out in the outfield today,
yeah,
doing a few tests. So hopefully it's all good news.
Dustin Pedroia batting .244 on the year.
I talked to Grady a couple of days ago. Saw him in the clubhouse, and yeah, he's ready to get back and going. He's
well, he was off to a good start. Unfortunately, you hate to go back onto that list once you've been on it for so long that he has. He wants back and playing.
Masterson has even the count of 2-2 on Pedroia, with Gonzalez to follow here in the first. The other way, foul. Pedroia, former league MVP, and obviously an important part of their lineup because when he's hot, they seem to score a lot of runs. Swung on and missed. Masterson strikes him out with a high heat. 2 down.
Something about 97 mile an hour up the chest is tough to hit, isn't it?
Did it get it up to 75?
97, yeah.
Let's take a look at the Time Warner Cable Bleacher pitch tracker. 97, I guess so. You heat it up, you throw it above the belt. The best you can do is foul that straight back. You're not going to get on top of it, and he's got a little extra adrenaline flowing right now, I believe.
Now Adrian Gonzalez takes the first pitch strike. Gonzalez batting .342, 9 homers, and how about this? 41 runs batted in already. We're not even to Memorial Day. Pitch is low and away. Jammed him badly. Masterson has it, lobs to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Justin Masterson. Michael Brantley is Dribble Cabrera and Shin-Soo Choo coming to bat when we return. Lineup is brought to you by Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Michael Brantley leading it off, followed by his Dribble Cabrera. How about his month of May? Then Shin-Soo Choo. Travis Buck, the new cleanup hitter for tonight. Carlos Santana getting the day off. Matt Laporta hits 5th, Orlando Cabrera 6th. Then it's Jack Hanahan, Austin Kearns, and Lou Marson.
Clay Buchholz on the mound, a 4-3 record, 365 earned run average. He's on a 3-game winning streak, although he had a no decision in his last start against Detroit. He didn't allow a run, though. 4 hits in his 7 innings. It was a no decision, but he held the team into a game. He's starting to hit his spots, exactly what he's looking to do. Let's take a look at the Home Depot doing more on defense. Boston lineup. Crawford in left, Ellsbury in center, Drews in right, Youkilis at third, Lowry at short, Pedroia at second, Gonzalez at first, Saltalamacchia behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Michael Brantley to lead things off for the Indians. And a high fastball just below the letters for a called strike. Brantley hit in all 3 games against the Reds, going 5 for 12 in the series.
Well, since Grady's been on the disabled list, talking about him, Michael's hit 300 and driven in 10 runs in his 10 games in that leadoff spot.
Big bouncer to Pedroia, and the second baseman throws him out 1 away. Here's our great clip of the game from yesterday as Dribble Cabrera, who leads the Indians with 9 home runs, hit 2 of them yesterday. Part of his 5-hit effort, the first time he's ever had a 5-hit game in his career. He equaled his career high with 5 runs batted in. Relax. You're at Great Clips.
I guess Cincinnati sent Volquez down.
Yes,
I wonder
did.
if Struble feels bad about contributing to that cause.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I think Volquez ended up sending himself down. He started complaining about the offense over there at Cincinnati, which has one of the best in the league, when he's got an ERA of over 6. And what's it in the first inning, Tommy? Over 20? Yeah, he's got a 20 ERA in the first inning as the Indians dropped the 4 spot on him yesterday.
Tough to please everybody, isn't it?
Now the 0-1 pitch. Something comes to mind with that Edinson Volquez story that my dad told me from the first time I remember playing sports. Worry about yourself.
Well, it's a lot more fun to worry about everybody else, I think. I think we've all got that in us.
Clay Buchholz has Cabrera down on the count 0-2. And now Asdrubal steps away.
Asdrubal's just been so consistent this year in the batter's box from both sides of the plate. You can tell with a lot of confidence.
And the 2-strike pitch. Not much, just a bit wide of the mark.
Well, you got to like his approach. I mean, everything's really, really still. And
right.
The difference I've seen this year as opposed to last year, the year before, even when I had him in Seattle, was that he's much more patient. He looks like he knows the strike zone a lot better this year, and it's really paying off for him.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Right back up the middle. Hit Buchholz. Caroms to Lowry. It's short, and he has no play. He couldn't come up with it cleanly. And he was going to have to make a perfect pick in order to even have a chance at getting Cabrera, who has the infield single with 1 out here in the first.
Well, when you're going good, things like this happen. The shortstop doesn't catch the ball cleanly. This one off the hip of Buchholz, and you get Lowry at short. He just can't field it with the bare hand. It would have been a tough play. May have had a chance, but it goes as a base hit. Cabrera stays hot.
Well, it's amazing when you consistently put the ball in play hard, how good things happen. I remember when you and I played back in the dark ages, Arch, and one of our teammates asked Dave Garcia, I hit the ball as hard as player A. Why is he hitting 300 and I'm hitting 260 or 240? And Dave's answer was, well, he does it a lot more often than you do. And that's true. He puts the ball in play, and he puts it in play hard, and it makes a big difference.
Now Shin-Soo Choo with a runner at first and 1 out. And looks at a ball down low. Shin-Soo Choo has hit in 9 straight games, as you see there. 12 for 32 during that tear. And to talk about him heating up, he's also hit in 20 of his last 25 overall. 1-0 pitch. Out front on the off-speed pitch. That'll even the count. Clay Buchholz, meanwhile, talk about Choo getting hot. Buchholz has heated up. In the month of April, he struggled. In 3 of his 5 starts, he allowed 4 runs or more. But so far in the month of May, his ERA is 1.40. He's given up 4 runs in 25 2/3 innings. So he has certainly turned things around. And Terry Francona has certainly been the beneficiary of that, because the Red Sox were reeling at the start and struggling in the month of April, but they have turned things around and now right there at the top in the AL East. Another throw over. At American League East, New York and Tampa tied at the top. Boston a half game out. Toronto's only 2.5 back. And then Baltimore in last place, 3 games under 500, but still only 4 games out of first.
Well, and that's exactly how, you think you figure it going into it. You know Boston, New York is going to be there. People felt Tampa would fall out of it. But I'll tell you what, they started out just like Boston did. And both those teams have turned it around.
Hey, we've got a week to go, but I wonder when the last time we got to Memorial Day and all 4 teams in the East were within 5 games of each other. This late in the season?
Yeah.
Well, Toronto has Superman playing for them. That's the reason they're there.
They sure do, man. He's unbelievable. Talking about Jose Bautista.
Buchholz with the 1-2 to Choo, and he just fights it off to stay alive.
That was a nice little cutter right there going in on the hands. It seems like, Mike, that's the pitch now. All pitchers are throwing their cutters. I mean, you never saw it that much back in the 90s, did you?
Thank goodness. No, you didn't, and it's a really effective pitch because if you can command that pitch and start that on the inner half of the plate, it looks like a fastball, and the thing doesn't you come up there and bend. It comes up there and jumps in on your hands like that one did there. Chu did a great job just fighting that off and give himself another chance.
And time was called just before Buchholz was about ready to deliver from the stretch.
What a lot of people don't realize, when you're good hitters seem to foul off tough pitches to stay alive with 2 strikes until they can get something they handle. Other guys swing through it or put it in play.
Well, you got to figure as a hitter you're going to get at least 2 pitches in at bat that are good pitches to hit, and the key, if you're lucky, and the key is fighting off those nasty pitches to give yourself a chance to get to those 2 that you may get.
The 1-2. Came
That
back
was a
and
good
got
one.
him.
That was another good one.
Yes, it was.
First strikeout for Buchholz, 2 down in the first.
You know, baseball is such a game of cycles. I mean, back in the 70s, the sinker ball was the big pitch. You know, that was the big pitch. Everybody. Then the 80s got here, and all of a sudden everybody's throwing the split finger. And you know, now they go the slider, the changeup, but the cutter is this tough pitch. If you don't throw it right, you really run the risk of hurting yourself. Though it's a tough pitch to throw correctly.
Well, yeah, you mess with that grip at the cutter. The changeup's becoming a very good pitch too for a lot of pitchers, which is not a lot of stress on your arm.
Now Travis Buck, who not before tonight has ever batted cleanup.
I was a little surprised to see that today. Travis Buck in the cleanup spot with Santana getting an off day, because Santana usually in that spot, but that's what Manny Acta chose to do today. It's tough to argue with what Manny does right now, because everything he's doing has been right.
I was going to say, I'm not going to be the one to sit here and second guess him, but I'll tell you what,
you can't.
He has, every button he's pushed has been, you know, do not pass, go. No, don't go to jail. That my Monopoly experience is a little off.
Slap to short, and Lowry goes to the bag for the inning-ending force. And after 1 inning of play, no score in Cleveland. Baseball is brought to you by McDonald's. What's sweet and tart, cool and refreshing? McDonald's McCafe Frozen Strawberry Lemonade. By your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. And by AT&T. A warm day here in northeastern Ohio gave way to some thunderstorm activity. But we're underway here after an hour delay. 73 degrees at game time. Kevin Youkilis, David Ortiz, J.D. Drew due up for Boston here in inning number 2 against Justin Masterson, who retired the side in order in the first, striking out Dustin Pedroia, and then he sawed off Adrian Gonzalez and a little tapper right back to the mound. Kevin Youkilis red hot with a 10-game hitting streak.
Well, as much as Justin Masterson's ball moves, I mean, you sit down as a catcher in the middle, it could take off anywhere. Like that.
Just did.
Yes, it did.
You know, I think a lot of pitchers, it's been my experience, a lot of pitchers get in trouble because catcher tries. You never want the catcher to set up in the middle of the plate usually. You want him to set, on the corners.
Right.
But with a guy that has that kind of movement that Justin has, you need to set up in the middle of the plate and let the ball work to the edges because it's going to. If you try to direct him to the edges, you're going to throw a lot of balls.
David Ortiz will bat now with Youkilis at first, and the Indians will shift. 3 on the right side. Jack Hanahan stays all by his lonesome on the left side of the infield.
That's the 73rd time that Youkilis has been hit by a pitch, and that's most in club history. He passed Mo Vaughn on Saturday night when he got number 72, so he just keeps adding to his total now.
Mike, are we seeing more shifts now in baseball in general, and is it because of the advanced scouting and the computerized scouting reports that are so available?
Yes. I don't know that we're seeing a lot more of them, but these kind of defenses are because of the charts that they have and what's been computed or put into the computer, and they get charts that just absolutely dramatic. It has to be dramatic for to put your defense like this. But yeah, the source of information, the amount of information you get is what drives this, and it pays off.
1-1 pitch is a called strike.
Pull on the ground, obviously, and in the air it's the other way because over in left field, Kearns is playing like a right-handed pull hitter.
I know what Jim told me that when I was with Seattle and Baltimore, and Jim was still here in Cleveland. That's how we set our defense up just like this: pull on the infield,
right,
the opposite way in the outfield. And you look at the hit charts. The spray chart shows you just exactly where he hits the ball the majority of the time.
Laporta goes to second for 1. The return throw to Masterson and the double play. So Laporta, not only did he have to field the ball, but he had to avoid the shattered bat of Ortiz that was hurtling in his direction.
I don't think he even saw it. He was going for the ball, and he just continued to go to second base. Masterson shatters his bat, and it's turned beautifully. Masterson hustles over. Look, he doesn't see it. Gator goes by him. Nice.
The old 3-5-1 double play. That's something also we get with these exotic shifts. We get some scoring combinations that we're not normally used to.
Yeah.
But I know in the teams that you manage, you obviously had some great middle infielders, Vizquel and Alomar, and you would see them shade and obviously with their experience know how to set up for hitters. But these exotic shifts, I just don't recall them being as prominent in the 90s, for example, as we see them nowadays.
Well, you had them. They may not have been as dramatic as they are now. There's some clubs that don't use the dramatic shift like this. They'll shade their infield and outfield one way or the other. A lot of that depends on the people that you got in those positions. A guy like Robbie Alomar and Omar Vizquel had such great range. You didn't have to overplay tendencies. You played the tendencies, but you didn't overplay them. The whole idea is to be able to defend 75% of the field. That's the whole idea of setting your defenses. And then you've got to count on your pitcher to make the pitches and make them hit the ball that direction and hit it into your defense.
It goes hand in hand. Look, they're going inside on this pitch, and that's a pretty good pitch. Maybe just a hair off the plate. Tough one to get called, though.
Matt Laporta with a nice pick on the short hop takes it himself. We go to the bottom of the second. No score.
Don't miss the Indians Music Festival presented by Discount Drug Mart, starring Brad Paisley, Blake Shelton, and Jared Neiman. That'll be Saturday, June 12th, right here at Progressive Field. And for a limited time, you get $30 seats for only $20. That's 10 bands for just $20. Tickets on sale now at Indians.com or call 216-420-HITS.
I think they should play the Drug Mart jingle at the Music Fest.
They may. Discount Drug Mart. Saves you the run around.
That's right.
See, you had to lead him there.
That will be in my mind the rest of the night.
Yes, it will.
Matt Laporta leads off the home half of the second. And Buchholz with a fastball for strike one.
Yeah, listen to Matt. Don't lead me on down certain paths. He knows better than to take me there.
The 0-1 pitch. Oh, he came right back with a good off-speed pitch after he got ahead with the fastball, and now it's 0-2.
Now, Buchholz has a great curveball, and he's got good off-speed pitches. The difference between him now in his last 4 or 5 starts and what he was doing earlier in the year, he wasn't locating. And I don't know if you could call it trusting your stuff, but it's a matter of just feeling comfortable and slowing things down a bit.
Fastball up and away. Might have been the cutter trying to get him to chase it off the dish. 1-2. Laporta 0 for his last 6. In the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Matt has actually fared much better against right-handers than he has southpaws so far this year, batting .276 against righties, but just .214 against lefties, and all 5 of his homers have come against the right-handers.
I think Matt likes to hit righties better than lefties. He's one of those guys that likes the ball going away from him, not coming in.
And the 2-2 down in the dirt. Full count.
All right, good patience.
Orlando Cabrera waits on deck, then Jack Hanahan here in inning number 2 for the Tribe. And Buchholz deals, and a swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Buchholz, 1 down in the second. Our trivia question tonight is brought to you by AT&T. 3 players in Red Sox history have had 3 or more seasons of 200-plus hits.
Okay, we got to get that one. Well, we know one
Ted
is
Williams, right?
Wasn't you and me?
Huh?
Wasn't you and me?
No. But 3 Sox players, I know one's got to be Wade Boggs. And it wasn't Ted Williams because Ted Williams never had 200 hits in a year. Ever. Believe it or not.
Well,
because he walked so many times, Matty. That's
that's
why.
right.
They should have released him. What's he thinking? I'm going to go with Yastrzemski.
The 0-1 pitch to Orlando Cabrera popped high in the air. Adrian Gonzalez calling for it. And the first baseman has it 2 down. Nomar Garciaparra have any big years like that?
Not 3 of them, I don't think.
Jack Hanahan will bat with 2 down and the base is empty here in inning number 2. Well, you saw back-to-back 200-hit seasons for Carlos Baerga early in his career.
He could hit.
Yes.
He could hit. Getting 200 hits in a season is not an easy thing to do.
Jack Hanahan rolls it to Gonzalez, who flips to Buchholz, and the Indians go in order. A 9-pitch second for Buchholz. 2 in the books, no score. of the third. I want to remind you to stay tuned later in the game to see our Miller taste greatness moment. Indians and Red Sox, no scores. We go to inning number 3, and before we start this inning, let's join Katie Witham, who has more on Indian starter Justin Masterson and his success against his former team.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. You guys mentioned tonight being Justin Masterson's first time this season to face his former team. When he was a Red Sox member, he set a rookie record. Ricky mentioned 2-0 last year against Boston, where he gave up just 1 run in 14 innings. But Masterson actually told me earlier, generally he loves facing good teams because it forces him to change things up a little bit and step things up when he's on the mound. When it's Boston in the visiting dugout, it definitely adds extra incentive, guys.
All right, thanks, Katie. Bottom third of the Boston order due here. Jed Lowry, Carl Crawford, and Jared Saltalamacchia. Mike, I'll ask you. I asked Rick, when you get traded and you come back and play your former team, does it fade with time or is it still fresh? He said, oh, every time you get geared up.
Yeah, pretty much every time.
Yeah.
It's you try not to let it do that, but there's something extra special about coming back and playing your former team and then proving to them that they probably shouldn't have done that. I've got a question. Did Katie just call you Ricky?
I don't know. Did she? I wasn't listening.
Huh?
She might have.
She might have.
Ricky Do?
Ricky, I'm going to start calling you Ricky.
Ricky, don't lose that number.
Just don't call him Eugene.
Oh, boy, we're rolling tonight.
Ricky.
Jed Lowry batting .319. And a swing and a miss. Masterson has his second strikeout, 1 down here in the third. Last June,
well,
here at Progressive Field, he dominated this Red
really
Sox
did.
lineup.
I'll tell you what, and there was talk all last year where they felt he should have been in the bullpen, take him out of the starter, he'll never be a starter, and I think he's proven a lot of people wrong, man. He's deserved it. He's worked hard at it. He's got confidence now, and he goes out there and he knows he's right where he belongs. He's on that every 5th day, and he gets into a routine, and he loves it.
Defining a kid's role, a player, not kid, defining a player's role is so important to allow them the ability to settle in and really take hold of what they're doing. But it's really important that you define roles, especially with a pitching staff. And you see players like Justin just really start to shine when they settle in, and this is where I belong.
Well, Cabrera might have had anybody but Carl Crawford. Crawford hitting the ball on the ground and in the hole, that guy can get down the line with the best of them, so he'll get an infield single.
First hit of the night for Boston brings up Jared Saltalamacchia.
And don't be surprised if you see him off and running.
Saltalamacchia takes a strike.
You know, Masterson's a guy that, as big and long as he is, you know, runners, good base runners will get a good jump off him. So far this year, they've stolen 3 bases when he's been pitching. The problem is they haven't been able to steal first base off him. That's why they haven't been able to move on.
It's an amazing way to stop the running game, isn't it? Yeah.
That's one way you'll stop the running game.
Well, you know, pitching, holding runners on has evolved so much. You know, back in the 70s and 80s, it was all about varying your looks and times over to first base and keeping them off balance that way. It really has evolved into a game to where if a pitcher can stay under 1.3 seconds, that's from the time he starts his motion to the time the ball reaches the catcher's mitt. If he can stay under 1.3, it gives a catcher a really good chance of throwing a guy out. If
that's
you're over,
the average,
that's
right?
the average. 1.3 is a major league average. Anything over 1.3 and you're really walking a real fine line of whether you're going to give your catcher a chance to throw the guy out.
And they have the catcher's time at about 2. If you're under 2 seconds, you're good. That's very good.
If you're under 2, that's the major league average is 2 seconds from the time by the time the ball hits mitt and his throw hits the shortstop or second baseman's mitt down at second base. You know, Sandy Alomar, when we had him, we clocked him at times at 1.85, which is just absolutely phenomenal. Most guys are anywhere from 1.95 to 2.5.
The set by Masterson. And the 1-2 to Saltalamacchia up and away. With that 1.3 time that you're referring to with the pitcher, do you run the risk of a pitcher rushing his delivery and not making a good pitch to home plate then because of that?
Exactly, yeah. You see pitchers that, the slide steps come into effect, to cut down their time home. And, yeah, they'll lose stuff. They'll elevate the ball, which is a real bad thing to do. You got to keep the ball down. Big league hitters, you get the ball up around, mid-thigh to the belt, and they can hit it a long, long way. So, yeah, you run the risk in doing that. So you've got to really kind of identify your priorities and which is the best way to keep a run from scoring.
Well, he's taking off now, so you got to throw a strike here.
Obviously, with a guy like Crawford, just the threat of him running can be enough to unnerve a pitcher. And now the 3-2 pitch. Crawford goes, and it's grounded foul.
Yeah, he's going to go anyway. He didn't go before the 3-2 pitch. Surprises me, but he will be running here. This guy, a premier base stealer.
But he has only 6 on the year. Jacoby Ellsbury has 15. Primary difference, Ellsbury's batting .295, right, and Crawford is hitting just right. .209.
Crawford hasn't been on.
Which goes back to what Ricky said about being able to steal first base.
Big bouncer in the hole. Orlando will take the out at first, 2 away. Crawford into scoring position. And now we go to the top of the order, and Jacoby Ellsbury, who flied out to left his first time up. Masterson deals, and a first pitch strike.
He's been first pitch strike on 9 of 10. Been outstanding tonight. And when his last 2 starts, he's been down to about 37.5% on first pitch strikes.
First pitch strikes are so important. I mean, the difference in the statistics of hitting 1-0 and 0-1 are just dramatic.
Yeah,
and
they go in the pitcher's favor when they go up or when they go up in the count 0-1. As a hitter, now you've got to expand a little bit.
And 0-2 is always a fun count to hit.
Well, you're always at a disadvantage. It doesn't matter what the count, trying to hit that baseball half the time.
Masterson ready with a 2-strike pitch, and he hit him.
Oh, boy, not what he wanted to do. Second batter he has hit tonight. He wanted to try and go inside. Just got it in a little too far. Worked hard to get ahead 0-2. And he just got underneath and cut that one in and got him.
Well, now 2 on and 2 out for Dustin Pedroia, who struck out his first time up. And there's another first pitch strike. Masterson's 45th pitch of the night. And it's fouled right back.
Boy, he's staying inside on a lot of these hitters, isn't he?
Yeah,
and that's really how you have to pitch a lineup like this. You cannot let them get out over the plate and extend.
Well, you really do. I think if you look at it and break it down, probably 90% of the outs made in the big leagues are made on pitches away. But the reason that the outside part of the plate gets people out is because you establish the ball inside, like Justin's been doing, to where those guys can't look out over the plate, and it opens it.
In the hole, a base hit, and the Red Sox will take the lead. On an 0-2 pitch, Pedroia singles to right. Red Sox at the corners, and they lead it 1-0. Pedroia with his 11th run batted in on the year.
Well, that just goes back to what we were talking about, getting the ball up. That ball's down, and it could have been a completely different outcome.
Well, yeah, and Pedroia is a guy that he's a tough at bat. Look at that pitch out over the plate. You give him a little swinging room, and he's looking when he's down in the count just to put it in play. He had a nice short swing, finds the hole. Crawford was off and running on that pitch, so it was impossible for Chu to throw him out.
Adrian Gonzalez. Tapper back to the mound his first time up. Looks at ball one.
You know, again, that ball that Pedroia hit, an 0-2 count.
Runner goes. Pedroia headed for second. It's fouled away by Gonzalez. .522 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Well, this guy is he's starting to pick it up, and he's really trying to stay inside the ball, going everything the other way. That's why Justin jammed him that first time up.
Bounce to first, and Laporta will tag the bag. The inning is over, but the Red Sox strike with 2 outs. They lead it 1-0.
Welcome back to Progressive Field. The Indians hosting the Red Sox, and the Indians have great promotions going on for you this summer, including fireworks every Friday night. The next fireworks show will be June 3rd when the Indians take on the Rangers. Seriously, these fireworks are amazing. It's a great time to get the family out, bring them down here to the ballpark. Log on to theindians.com to get your tickets in advance and come see some fireworks. Guys, back over to you.
Okay, thanks, Katie. Here in the bottom of the third for the Tribe, Austin Kearns, Lou Marson, and Michael Brantley due up. Austin Kearns turning things around. He's hit in 4 straight games. Going 5 for his last 13.
Well, we talked about it, Mike. What happens when you have a couple of your best players on the DL? You have to have guys that aren't playing every day step up and fill in for them until they can get back.
You really do, and I think the Indians are real fortunate in having a guy like Austin Kearns to be able to do that. A proven major league player.
Just missed inside. 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, last year when he had to fill in early, he's the one that they ended up hitting him in the middle of the lineup because he played for Manny in Washington. He knew what kind of guy he was, the character was, the type of player he was, and he's got to pick it up right now, and he's very capable of doing that.
Low, 3 balls, no strikes. Mike, when we had you on earlier this year, we talked about the fact that Manny has done a good job of, at that point in the season, getting everybody involved. Everybody was getting playing time, whether it be pinch hit appearances or just resting people occasionally. Kearns draws the 4-pitch walk. That seems to have paid off because we've talked about every day a different hero with this team. Well, there's a reason for that. It doesn't happen by accident.
No, and Manny has the type of team that you're going to need all 25 guys. Young players have to get used to playing 162 games in a season, and by giving guys like Austin Kearns, at bats and Travis Buck at bats, it does pay off when guys like Hafner and Sizemore go down, and you need those guys, and they've got a little bit to draw on from the at-bats they've gotten previously. So it's a really important thing.
Lou Marson looks at a ball down low.
And people are going to sit there and say, well, you didn't do that when you managed back in
you didn't have that young team.
No, we didn't have that same type. We had guys that could absolutely mash and were tough mentally. They were mature mentally, not tough. They weren't any tougher mentally than the guys today, but they were mature mentally, and the guys we had on the bench, knew their role. So it was a different situation altogether.
Well, those guys, they didn't want a day off. They wanted to play every day.
1-0 pitch to Marson. A strike called. And relatively speaking, you stayed healthy. I mean, you lost Sandy here and there. He had some injury problems, but you never really lost Tommy or Omar for any extended period of time. So that the key guys on that club, Albert, I mean, they were in the lineup every day.
Yeah, our key guys stayed healthy. That's an important factor. They like you said, Tommy and Manny, Eddie Murray stayed healthy. Kenny Lofton stayed healthy. Omar stayed healthy.
You just lost Albert to suspensions. That's all.
Yeah, we planned for those. We had those planned out.
1-1 pitch to Lou Marson coming up. Buckholz with a long pause.
He's really deliberate when he comes into the stretch. You got to call timeout because he's holding it. The guy at first base is not going to run. That's just his way. Some pitchers don't like to throw to first base, and they'll just sit and hold it. And, I don't know if that's being called from the bench, but he's done it, every time tonight there's been somebody on base, he'll sit and just hold it.
If you'll remember, Pedro Martinez did the same thing. He get base runners in the game. He slowed the game down to an absolute standstill. I wonder if his influence in doing that and the success he had slowed. The younger guys picked it up, or somebody with the Red Sox picked it up. But golly, I used to sit there and wonder if Father Time was going to walk through the door any second, because he really slowed the game down, and it paid off for him.
Buckholz. Two-one pitch. Marson hammers it down the right field line, deep into the corner. Drew watches it hit foul just by maybe a foot. Very close to being extra bases for Lou Marson right there.
Well, I know it. Austin Kearns, he put his head down and was running. He knew nobody was going to get it. It was just a matter of staying fair. It slices right at the end, and it slices foul. It was gone by about a foot.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Ball carried a long way, too. So the count even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ground ball toward third. Euclid goes to second for 1. The return throw to first is in time, and a double play. Let's go back to the studios right now for this in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
All right, Matt, Rick, Mike, let's go down to Arlington, Texas. Josh Hamilton is back. Boy, is he back. Bottom of the first inning, his first at bat tonight, home run. His first of the season. That's been it thus far. Texas leads the Chicago White Sox 1-0. They're in the 4th inning in Texas. Back to you, Matt.
What a way to make your comeback.
He can play, can't he?
Yeah.
He can play.
Yes, he can. When healthy.
Michael Brantley steps in now with 2 down and the bases empty. And the tough breaks of baseball. Lou Marson goes from just narrowly missing maybe a double and having the Indians set up for a big inning to a double play ball, and now the threat of the rally wiped out. Breaking ball and a good one for a strike.
Good hook.
Brantley grounded out to second his first time up. Down on the dirt.
Buchholz, that curveball is probably his slowest pitch, between 79 and 80. His changeup's about 81, 82, but he gets it up to 94, 95. So there's a pretty good 15-mile-an-hour variance on his pitches.
The right-hander's 1-2 pitch. To third, backhanded by Youkilis, and a terrific play by the Red Sox third baseman. And we've played 3 innings in Cleveland. It's the Red Sox 1 and the Indians nothing. HD.com right now and check out one of our preferred partners, Garfield 12323. They've served Northeast Ohio for over 75 years with award-winning siding, windows, and roofing. For a free estimate, visit STOHD.com and click on the Garfield 12323 banner. Kevin Youkilis made a fine defensive play to end the third, leads off the fourth, hit by a pitch his first time up. One ball, one strike. The Indians came into tonight's game 29-15 on the year. I mentioned in our open that through 44 games, it's tied for the Indians' 5th best start since their last World Series championship in 1948. The 1954 Indians, who won 111 games, were also 29-15 through their first 44.
Then they got hot, I guess.
Think about that. The 1-2
got off to a slow start that year for them.
But Mike's 95 club was 33-11. That's the best 44 game start since 1948. In 99, his team was 31-13.
That's what we were shooting for.
Well, 95, they only played 44 games that year.
3-2 pitch. Fouled back.
Is it not amazing? You sit there and watch a hitter, and he takes 2 pitches on the outside part of the plate that were really close to being called strikes, and he takes them for balls. Then he gets into this count, and he throws the same pitch, and he hacks at it.
You got to swing with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
That's driven to deep center, but Brantley on the move is there to grab it. 1 away. Tonight's minor league report is brought to you by Kia. Nick Hagedorn promoted to AAA Columbus. A 1-2-3 10th inning for the win in just his 2nd game since being promoted. Remember, he was a big part of that package the Indians received from Boston in the Victor Martinez trade that also included tonight's starting pitcher Justin Masterson. And David Ortiz with a 1-hopper just does find its way through the middle of the diamond. You know, sometimes, Mike, you'll see that shift and somebody will be directly behind the bag at second. You see that a lot of time with Travis Hafner. But for Ortiz, they don't have anybody right up the middle. And again, that goes back to your spray charts you were talking about.
Yeah, well, you're kind of counting on a pitcher to fill the position if you could. Obviously, Justin had no play on that ball at all. But you also have a side issue. He stands right behind the bag, and you can't see the hitter at all. So you've got to be on one side or the other. And again, the spray charts. When you put a shift on somebody like that, the spray charts are so dramatic that you can't not do it.
J.D. Drew looks at the ball outside, 1-1 to count. Pitch number 60 on the night coming up for Masterson right here. Fouled right back. You know, that's again, he's made 61 pitches now with 1 out in the 4th inning. He's only allowed the 3 hits, but that's a testament to the veteran lineup of Boston and how they will take pitches and foul good pitches off and just.
Yeah, they're a lot like the Yankees. You know, you get those teams, they get to 2 strikes and they take pitches. They're tough to deal with. And the second time they'll make an adjustment and look for something different. 3rd time is even tougher to put them out in the same game. That's why I say Justin's got to have all his pitches today and tonight to get deep into this game.
Well, you really want your starting pitcher, to average 15 pitches a game per inning. If he can average 15 pitches per inning, then he has a good chance of pitching really deep into the ball game. You start going over that, you're really walking on thin ice as to how far he can carry you into the ball game and take care of your pin.
These foul balls are what kills you.
Exactly.
They make you work. They make the pitcher work, and they have 8-9 pitch at bats.
Well, he had him down on the count, and here we go. This is what we were talking about. Now it's a full count, 3-2 for J.D. Drew. You foul a few off, you take a few that are just off the plate. Jed Lowry waiting on deck with Ortiz at first and 1 down here in the 4th. And a 3-2 with Ortiz running. And a ground ball to Orlando Cabrera, who will throw out J.D. Drew, 2 down.
You were a little shocked Ortiz was running?
Well, only because it's Ortiz. I understand that you want to stay away from the double play because of Masterson, but even.
I think Terry was banking that Drew was going to put it in play and at least he wasn't going to swing through it.
Yeah, had it been another hitter up there that he wasn't as sure he was going to make contact as Drew would, I think you would have seen Ortiz stand up. I'm not so sure that Ortiz didn't have a heart attack about halfway down to second base. That's about as far as he's run in a long time.
Pitch is outside for ball 1 to Jed Lowry. Struck out his first time up. Just missed inside. Slashed out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike. You know, speaking of Ortiz, Mike, it almost seems that as the game has evolved here in the last few years, probably won't see many more one-dimensional DHs. It seems like teams want more versatility, if at all possible.
Well, I think I think you're right in one regard that versatility is attractive, but you get a guy out there that swings a bat the way Ortiz can, and believe me, they'll take that one-dimensional guy every time. To be able to move a baseball the way he does is not real common with a lot of players and a lot of teams, and it's a nice thing to have.
3-1 pitch. In the air center field, Brantley racing back, and he'll make the grab. That ends the 4th. 1-0 Boston. Tribe coming to bat in the bottom half. We'll have Cabrera, Chu, and Buck.
.com @BAT11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. You get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Indians.com for details.
As Dribble Cabrera, Shin-Soo Choo, and Travis Buck for the Indians. Here in the home half of the 4th, Cabrera, the only hit of the night for the Tribe so far. He banged one right back up the middle that hit Buchholz on the hip and then rolled over to shortstop, and Cabrera aboard in the 1st with that hit. The only other base runner for the Tribe, a leadoff walk to Austin Kearns in the 3rd, but he was erased on a double play.
Yeah, that's right. Yesterday, I think, was the only time that they've been able to really put some offense together early in quite some time.
Yeah.
They've had some games where they were no hit for 5 innings, and, they come on late in the ball game. But yesterday they had a 4-run first and ended up scoring 12. But prior to that, it's been, a gradual buildup. So hopefully that Masterson just can keep them right where they're at until the offense gets going.
Buchholz with a 1-1.
Good pitch. That's tough on the layoff.
Remember the last time Justin Masterson was out, he gave up 1 run, and that was too much.
You're right. It was in the first inning, Matt. There's you see that cutter again in off the plate. Great job to lay off of that pitch. Yeah, you just never know. One run could be it. He witnessed it in his last start. And hopefully it's not going to do that tonight.
As Dribble Cabrera in a good count here with Shin-Soo Choo to follow. And the 3-1 hit high in the air, right center field. Back goes Ellsbury on the track. He's out of room. It's out of here. Cabrera, his 10th home run of the year, ties the game at 1.
Boy, he's about as hot as you can get. This home run replay is brought to you by Great Clips. Great needs, great deeds, great clip. Take over, Mike. A 3-1 pitch. Tell us what he does. Fastball right there.
Fastball right there. I tell you the truth, when he hit it, I thought he had just missed it.
Got under it. He got some
strong
carry. He had that top spin on it, and that ball seemed to carry. He's in a groove now where you hit it, and he gets it into the seats. We have a tie ball game, so there you go.
Obviously the wrong guy to go 3-1 on.
Yes, it is. He's locked into everything.
Now Shin-Soo Choo struck out his first time up.
Boy, this kid is really having off to a terrific start. Listen to this. Sometimes you can tell on the crack of the bat. He's looking. He knew it was going to be close.
The big boys hit the ball and the sound is completely different.
Oh yeah, but I never considered him a big boy.
No,
but I'll tell you what, he's proven he can be. Home run number 10.
Now Buchholz taking a long time to get on the same page with Saltalamacchia with Shin-Soo Choo at the plate, a 1-1 count.
Well, and that's what happens. Sometimes when you're a pitcher, you can make that 3-1 pitch to certain hitters, they'll pop it up. But guys that are in streaks, like as Drubel's in right now, when they make a mistake, they hit it out of the ballpark. And then you start, maybe give some hitters too much credit, but that kid has been on fire.
I guarantee you Buchholz was out there, he stepped off the rubber because he was out there cussing himself thinking about the pitch that he made to Cabrera.
2-1 delivery. Little tapper back to the mound. 1 away. Scoreboard update brought to you by your Northern Ohio Ford dealers and the all-new 2012 Ford Focus. Ford, drive 1.
I want to send along some birthday wishes. Elaine Heyer of New Philadelphia is turning 70. Vaughn Jarecki of Cleveland Heights turning 1. That's right, Vaughn, named after Rick Vaughn. We got Bonnie Wallace of Ocala, Florida. Happy birthday, Bonnie. And Herman Turrington, that works over at WKYC. The Big Herm is turning 54 today. Happy birthday to each and every one.
Travis Buck looks at the ball up high. Shattered bat back to the mound. A nice grab by Buchholz. And he throws out Buck 2 down.
Boy, that ball, that bat stuck into the turf where it split. Look at, he's got nothing but handle in his hand. Doesn't bother Buchholz. He figured he's going to field it and throw him out. But the barrel head of that bat, I mean, it was like a javelin and stuck right into the infield grass.
Well, Rick, you mentioned somebody celebrating their very first birthday.
Yeah.
Zachary Slotta is celebrating his 18th birthday down in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, 18. Where
Rite
were
of
you
passage.
at 18, man? No, not quite. He can't have a beer yet.
I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
We go back. That was in the days, but where were we back then?
Oh.
You were riding a bus somewhere, probably.
Thank
huh?
goodness we survived what we were doing back then.
They didn't even have TV back then when you were there, 18.
Oh, stop it.
It's not you, Matt. I was talking
I
to
know
Grover.
you were talking to me, Ricky.
2-0 the count here for Matt Laporta, who struck out his first time up.
Yeah, TV is just black and white.
Well, and you had to get up and change it.
Oh, yeah, I had to turn the rabbit ears.
Swing and a miss, 2-1.
There he pulls off a little bit, had a good hitter's count, and looked like Matt, the front side of his body opened up trying to pull the ball.
You know what he'll do a lot of times in that, and I've watched Matt. I like Matt a lot. And if you take a special interest in Matt, his weight goes straight to his heels. He comes off, as you say, off the plate, trying to get his hands out and help his hands get out, and all it does is slows him down. And it's something he knows. He knows it. I've talked to John Nunley, the hitting coach, and they work on it all the time.
Yeah. But that's balance. That's staying on balance. This time, you're right. You want to do it. I've seen him have great at bats to 3-1 pitches, and then give that at bat away. A guy that's still got to get it. He's a strong young man.
2-2. Fastball hit on the ground to first. Gonzalez with a nice backhanded play, and that'll end the inning. But it's Drupal Cabrera's 10th home run of the year. Has tied this game at 1. United, proud to fly the Cleveland Indians. By your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, it's time to join the Hyundai movement. And by Panini's, get overstuffed at any one of 18 locations in Northeast Ohio. Tied at 1 now as we go to the 5th inning. Thanks to his Drupal Cabrera, who with that home run, at least based on the numbers going into play tonight, tied for 4th in the American League in home runs now.
Well, 6 of Cabrera's home runs, of his 10 home runs, have either tied the game or given him the lead, so they've come at the right time.
Not to mention he's put together 7 straight hits.
You had to say that, didn't you?
Well, why not? I didn't make it up.
Was that a note from Tommy? No, he was 5 for 5 yesterday. That's right.
Yep.
Carl Crawford singled and scored the Red Sox only run in the 3rd inning.
Uh-oh.
And he might have just scored their 2nd. Deep to right and gone. Carl Crawford, his 2nd home run on the year, puts Boston right back up 2-1.
Well, it didn't last long, did it? They come right back, and Crawford hits his 2nd home run of the year. Looked like a slider to me. It really speeds up his bat. He's open. That first time up, he slapped the ball the other way, but watch this pitch just sits there and spins, and it stayed middle of the plate, 80 miles per hour. And whatever it was, it sat right there, and Crawford didn't miss it. So Boston jumps back up top, 2-1, and Crawford has scored both of them.
Fouled away by Jared Saltalamacchia.
It's only the second home run given up by Justin Masterson this year. Covering about, 65 innings?
Yep. Takes care of Saltalamacchia. Third strikeout for Masterson. One down here in the fifth. Back to the studios. Once again, we go an in-game update with Al Pulowski.
All right, Matt, another AL East team against an AL Central team. Tampa, Detroit. Here's Andy Dirks in the fifth inning for the Tigers. Ties the game up with his solo home run. It's the first of his career. Tampa Bay and Detroit still knotted at 1. They're in the bottom of the sixth inning in Motown. Matt, back to you.
Thanks, Al.
That's a new kid I haven't heard of.
Ellsbury right
Nice.
into the glove of Masterson. A line drive right off his shoe tops. 2 down.
The big cat moving around on the mound. Look at Ellsbury can't believe it. He said, "What are you doing catching that? You took a hit from me." He's looking at him like, "Oh, I can't believe that." Look at him.
We've been there, done that.
Do it, big man. He's got the glove right down, and he stabs it, and it was in the air. Nice play.
Dustin Pedroia drove in the Red Sox first run in the third with a 2-out single to right field. This is slugged to center. Michael Brantley kneels down to make the grab, and the inning is over. But Carl Crawford's second home run of the year has Boston on top 2-1. Hey, tune in for a new edition of Minor League Magazine tomorrow night at 6. Al and Jason will bring you all the news from the Indians minor league system. This week they'll interview Kinston outfielder Tyler Holt. Indians Minor League Magazine tomorrow at 6 right here on STO HD. Going to the home half of the fifth, and it will be Orlando Cabrera, Jack Hanahan, Austin Kearns due up for the Tribe. Cabrera fouled out to first base his first time up. Bounce to third, and Kevin Youkilis flips it over. 1 down. This game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. 2-out RBI single by Dustin Pedroia on an 0-2 pitch. Gave Boston the early lead as Drupal Cabrera tied it in the fourth with his 10th home run of the year. And then Carl Crawford leading off the fifth put Boston right back on top. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. Jack Hanahan grounded out to first base. His first trip to the plate tonight. As Drupal Cabrera, by the way, has both of the Indians' hits. Cabrera homering in back-to-back games for the second time this year.
The other time was out in Seattle, wasn't it? Leading off the games, I believe.
Up high, yeah, it was April 10th and 11th.
Had to be Seattle.
One was Seattle, the other one was in Anaheim. The 1-1 pitch. Down low. If I remember right, Rick, didn't he homer like in the first game of the series, then the last game, and then he did in the first game in Anaheim?
Yeah, it was. I thought it was in the first inning too.
I think they were all of them. Yeah. The 2-1 pitch. Because you were mentioning earlier about the slow start of the offense, other than yesterday for the most part, that's when they were on that tear where they had the early lead. Maybe not a lot, but they were scoring. Seemed like in the first inning almost on a nightly basis.
They were on that road trip.
Buchholz 3-1 pitch to Hanahan. Fastball down low. And that's the second walk issued by Buchholz tonight. A one-out base runner for Austin Kearns. Jared Saltalamacchi out for a quick chat. Kearns walked to lead off the third inning. Missed down low with it, ball one. Buchholz just about to make his 60th pitch of the evening. So he has been, for the most part, very efficient. That move Buchholz just made right there reminded me of the play earlier this year with Justin Verlander.
Where's he going?
He came off the rubber, and his body was such that he couldn't throw the ball to first, so he just threw it to home plate, and he hit David DeJesus. But because it was a balk, DeJesus didn't get to take his base. The runner at first got to go to second, but DeJesus had to keep hitting.
He's got really no business throwing over there with Hanahan. He's not going anywhere.
Kearns a swing and a miss. 1-1 to count. Rick, you almost wonder if the way the Indians have played here through the first 44 games isn't in the back of everyone's mind, though, in that they don't have a lot of speed, but anybody can run at any time. The way Manny Acta has played things, not afraid to start a runner or put something on.
The game sort of dictates that. I mean, they're not going to hit and run here with Kearns with one out. At least I wouldn't think so.
Well, Austin swings and misses a lot. I mean,
right.
that's not. I'm not saying that to.
Guy.
Yeah, I'm not saying that to downplay his talents. He swings. He's like a lot of big guys. He swings and misses a lot. And if you hit and run with those kind of guys very often, you know it's just not going to.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
You got to give him a shot. He's got the count in his favor. Sit on a pitch and try and juice one to the alley.
There you go.
Missed inside, not by much. 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, he's getting a little wild. And, you know, that's what you love to see. If he's getting wild, get wild the bottom part of that lineup. I'm sure all managers hate to see walks, but they are all part of the game like everything else.
Hanahan, short lead at first, held there by Gonzalez. Kearns in a good spot here, sitting on his pitch. And another throw to first. Sometimes you just wonder if is it nervous energy for a pitcher.
Well, you know, you could say yes. I don't know the nervous energy. I think that sometimes pitchers, their concentration has to be so totally on the hitter that if they come set and they have the runners bothering them at all, taking away their concentration, they'll go ahead and make the move over there just to get it out of their mind and get back on the hitter.
3-1 pitch, runner goes, and a strike called. And the throw is not in time. Did he come off the bag? No,
he
did.
Safe, and then he gave,
He overslid the bag, and Hanahan is retired, 2 down.
That's too bad. He had the bag stolen. He was taken off, had it stolen, and then on the slide, his foot comes off the base, and they kept the tag applied, which is smart when you're an infielder. Watch Pedroia go over there. Does the little hook slide, which is good. Away from the slide, but watch the left foot. Comes off the bag. He couldn't control it. So that's an out. That's second base.
And a 3-2 pitch is driven to right field. Back goes Drew. And it's over his head and off the wall. And Kearns will go into second base, and that probably cost the Indians a run now when you look back on it. Kearns a 2-out double. Not sure that Hanahan would have scored from first base on that, but would have been interesting. Probably would have had to hold up because Drew looked like he might have a play on it, but it just did carry over his head.
The fact of the matter is, he would have been on second base if he doesn't overslide. He would have scored easily. Wouldn't have had to come from first base. I mean, so that ball ricochets off the wall. Kearns goes into second. He's now in scoring position, so it's going to take a 2-out RBI by Lou Marson now. That's a pretty good approach by Austin Kearns. He took the 3-1 pitch and then shooting the 3-2 pitch the other way for the double.
See if Lou Marson can come up with the 2-out hit, and it's low, ball 1. Chopper hit to third. Marson got a really late break out of the box. Wouldn't have mattered as Youkilis throws him out. 5 complete. 2-1 Boston. restaurant. Pick up your Wahoo Bucks $5 discount coupons for the Subway Extreme Fan Zone. It's the place to be for a chance to win Subway gift cards, Indians fun money, and you'll get great discounts on your next Subway purchase. Subway, where winners eat. 6th inning. It'll be Adrian Gonzalez, Kevin Youkilis, and David Ortiz. Boston leading it by a score of 2-1. They got a 2-out RBI single from Pedroia in the 3rd to give them a 1-0 lead. Then as Drupal Cabrera homered in the bottom of the 4th to tie it. And then Carl Crawford led off the 5th with a solo homer to put Boston back in the lead. Gonzalez 0 for 2 tonight. Indians will put the shift on. Gonzalez very good at taking the ball the other way and doing it with power, but I don't know that we've seen anybody hit a ball the other way as far as Joey Votto did in, I believe that was yesterday's game. He hit one up into the bleachers, and Rick made the point at the time saying there are right-handed pull hitters that don't hit the ball up into the bleachers that far.
It's fun to watch a guy have that kind of power.
2-0 pitch. It's outside. Jim Thome was a guy you managed for a long time who had that kind of power the opposite way.
No, yeah, he did. When he was hitting the ball a long way, the opposite way, he was on his game.
A little bit low, a 4-pitch walk to Gonzalez. That's the first walk issued by Masterson here tonight. Here's the answer to our AT&T trivia question.
Who do we got? Jim Rice. We got Wade Boggs. Did you figure out Johnny Pesky?
Oh, I knew that.
Pesky Paul.
I never would have thought Johnny Pesky.
I know. Three times.
Kevin Youkilis takes a strike. Hit by pitch, fly to center in the 4th. Swung on and missed.
Youkilis is he's one of those players that's absolutely made himself a better player. I mean, he came in obviously with a certain talent level, but he's worked really hard to make himself the player he is today. It hadn't come natural.
Defensively, he could play first or third. That's the reason why they went out and got Gonzalez, because they could move Youkilis back to third. So, yeah, and the way he hits, you could never teach anybody that, could you?
No. You'd be afraid to try to teach somebody that. But,
no doubt about it.
But he's turned himself into an outstanding Major League Baseball player.
Lays off again, 2-2.
Well, we got to talk to his agent tonight, who's in town, Joe Bick, former employee of the Cleveland Indians back in the 70s when we played.
Trader.
Joe worked here for the Cleveland Indians. He's in town tonight. Nice to see him.
Double play ball to short. Cabrera to Cabrera. On to Laporta. Tribe turns their second double play.
Nicely done. They teased him with that slider early in the count. Got him out with the sinker in on the hands to pull it. Oh, every time. It works every time. The 6-4-3. Just what the doctor ordered. For Masterson, yeah, that's right. Nice job of pitching. Nice job of setting him up. That's 6 double plays now he has gotten hitters to hit into.
David Ortiz looks at a strike, a single right up the middle his last time up. Some rain falling here at Progressive Field.
Has it already started, huh?
And that pitch is inside.
Yeah, Matt, you've got good eyes.
Well,
yeah. Mike, I saw people heading for the exits first. That's what tipped me off.
There you go.
You're supposed to be watching the game.
He's got the grounds crew perched behind the tarp, too.
Hit well deep the other way, slicing, and out of play.
Well, this is going to be around, I think, all week long, so hopefully we just catch breaks where we can get the game in.
Masterson with a 1-2. Right back. And the 1-2 pitch. Checked his swing, fouled. Carlos Carrasco. Now the 1-2. High fly ball. Right field. Shin-Soo Choo makes the grab and the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Boston on top 2-1. Top of the order due up for the Tribe. Fans, don't forget you can get overstuffed at Panini's. 18 locations in northeastern Ohio. Visit paninisgrill.com for a location near you. Well, we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Top of the order for the Tribe. They're down 2-1. Rain is falling. Did they call for the tarp or not? They rolled out the tarp, and then the crew chief, or acting crew chief Bruce Dreckman said, no, roll it back.
Say Bruce Drennan? What's he doing on the field?
He's universal. Yes. He's everywhere. It wouldn't surprise me to see Bruce down there.
Gary Darling, the regular crew chief, not here.
False alarm.
Yeah. Rain is falling at a pretty steady clip. And Brentley takes a strike. Everybody flipped to the other side. Now the 0-1. And Brentley fouls it back. Buchholz, 2-strike pitch, and he struck him out. Third K for Buchholz, 1 down in the 6th. Here's our Miller Taste Greatness moment. Earlier this year, as Asdrubal Cabrera at the plate. Little squeeze play.
Boy, that's all it took for that ball game. That was a 1-0 win by the Indians. And look at that ball, was about a foot outside, an unbelievable squeeze. Ended up going on to win 1-0.
Strike called at the knees. Asdrubal Cabrera singled in the first one. He hit one off the hip of Clay Buchholz. Then he homered in the 4th. 3 home runs last year for Asdrubal. Now, remember, he missed a big chunk of the season when he fractured that forearm.
But 6 was his
high.
Yeah, career high coming into this year.
The 1-1. Line deep the other way. Back is Crawford. Makes the grab. 2 away. And that will bring up Shin-Soo Choo, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Buckles finally rocks into the windup. And a strike is called. Texas shutting out Chicago. The White Sox 3-0 in the 7th. Detroit leads Tampa 2-1. They're also in the 7th inning. Seattle and Minnesota are tied at 4. They're in the 5th inning in the Twin Cities. 1 ball and 2 strikes for Choo. And now time called. Choo steps away. And the 1-2 is just a little bit high.
You know, 3 starts ago, Buchholz is a guy that he came back and pitched 3 innings after a 2-hour rain delay up against the Minnesota Twins. Well, that would not happen tonight because he's in the process of going 6 innings now.
2-2 pitch. Swung out and missed. Buchholz strikes out a pair here in the 6th inning. 4 in the ballgame. 2-1 Boston.
Progressive Field, you know, Wednesday wraps up the final series between the Cleveland Indians and Boston Red Sox, and we also have Fill the House for Charity going on Wednesday. A portion of the ticket sales will go to support the American Red Cross of Greater Cleveland. Also, one of my favorite deals going on as well, lunch in 3 innings $15 will get you a ticket in the door here, and you'll also get a $10 food voucher that you can use for drink or food here. Seriously, one of the best deals out here. Log on to Indians.com. Get your ticket for Wednesday. Come on out here, support the Indians, and support the American Red Cross. Matt, Rick, Mike, back up to you guys.
Katie had to remember your name.
Yeah, she didn't call me Mikey.
No, that's next time.
Okay.
Mikey. You got to earn that.
I must.
It takes more than one game a week.
Yeah.
Mikey.
Justin Masterson facing J.D. Drew, who is 0 for 2. Drew has grounded out twice. A little bit outside. Check to swing, foul.
Well, you know you have good stuff when you have a hitter like Drew up there, and he's checking his swing on a 2-0 count.
I was thinking the same
that
thing.
That means he's still throwing the ball very well. He's got great movement. I mean, Justin's throwing the ball outstanding tonight. He really has.
High pop might be playable. Let's see. Kearns coming over.
Should be.
Hanahan's there. Kearns makes the grab. One down here in the 7th.
Yeah, that's an easier play for the outfielder coming in, so call him off. Awful tough plays for the infielders that are running with their back to the infield.
Smashed up the middle. Orlando Cabrera, great diving stop from his knee. Throws him out. Oh, a sensational play by Orlando Cabrera.
Boy, it certainly was. He realized he had to get rid of it in a hurry, so he gets rid of it from the seat of his pants. Going to his right. This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. And you got to love a play like this. In a game, a 2-1 ball game, stay on your knees, throw it. One hopper, gets him. Very nice.
It'll bring up Carl Crawford, who has accounted for both Red Sox runs tonight. He singled and scored in the 3rd, and he homered in the 5th. And a liner. Oh, Cabrera does it again. He took at least 2 hits away from the Red Sox here in the 7th inning. Stretch time. Tribe down a run. Time for the Cleveland Clinic 7th inning stretch, Indians fans. Time to get up and let's move it. Two-one Red Sox as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. But first, how about Orlando Cabrera defensively helping the Tribe get out of the top half of this inning?
Well, that was a great play right there. This one he had to climb the ladder, and right there you just have to time your jump. But the big guy did it. Look at him laughing. That'll get him out of the inning. 2 very nice plays. Now it's time for the offense to come alive.
Those folks headed for cover with the rain falling, although it's let up from when it first started falling. Well, and based on what Mike and I were looking at in between innings here on the computer, downtown Cleveland pretty lucky tonight. Funnel clouds spotted throughout northeastern Ohio, down in North Royalton tonight and in Streetsboro.
Mike and Matt Doppler.
Hey,
you guys are
we're just looking at the pictures,
you
man.
never invited me over to look at them.
We're the tag team weather duo.
Travis Buck 0 for 2. Two balls and no strikes.
Well, Buchholz has been very efficient tonight. This will be pitch number 80. And in tonight's ball game, the most he's thrown is 16 pitches back in the 4th inning, and that was your point earlier. You look at 15 pitches per inning, and it'll get you deep into the game.
Yes, it will. Well, the thing he's done is you know, the counts where action needed to take place, like a 2-1, 2-2 count. You know, he's gotten the Indians to put the ball in play in those counts, and that's kept his pitch count down. Now he's had a couple of rough at bats the last couple of innings where he's gone 3-1, 3-2 on some hitters, but you know, you have 80 pitches, you know, pitching into the 7th inning. You're throwing the ball real
12
well.
ground ball outs. One mistake was a 3-1 pitch to Cabrera.
Yep.
That's how they got on the board.
Matt Laporta 0 for 2 tonight. Tribe down a run. Missed inside with it. High fly ball, right field. In comes Drew. 2 down. I'm going to bring up Orlando Cabrera. 0 for 2 on the night.
Now people look at that bat and think, oh, you popped, you know, reading the paper, he popped up, for the second out of the inning in the 7th. That was a good pass at the ball. I mean, his mechanics were there. That was a good pass. He just didn't quite get the bat up to the ball. But if he continues to have approaches like that, then Matt's going to be a very, very good hitter, which a lot of people think that he will be.
Right off the end of the bat, back to the mound, and a quick 1, 2, 3, 7th inning for Clay Buchholz. 6 pitches gets him through the 7th. 2-1 Boston.
The telecast is presented by the authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Justin Masterson will start the 8th inning with activity in the Indians bullpen. Light rain still falling here at Progressive Field. Tribe trailing it by a score of 2-1. Joe Smith from the right side, Rafael Perez from the left. Jared Saltalamacchia, the number 9 hitter, will lead off for Boston. Then Jacoby Ellsbury and Dustin Pedroia do up.
How about last inning, the total? In the top half and the bottom, a total of 13 pitches. 7 by Masterson, 6 by Buchholz.
Flared near the line, foul. Well, do players get the sense with a rain like this falling that, hey, this game could be coming to, so you maybe start being a little more aggressive than normal?
I would think so.
Yeah, I think so too. Hey, you want to get your guys back in the dugout and give them a chance to score. But in the Indians' case, the time runner, go ahead and run in case it does just come a deluge that they have to pull the tarp. But you become more aggressive. You want to get the game in. You don't want to have to sit around till 1 o'clock in the morning to get the game in.
I think pitchers are going to go out there and try and get ahead of you, and hitters are going to say, all right, I'm looking for that first good pitch I can put in play.
Sometimes you see that kind of approach in an extra inning game where everybody's just trying to hit a home run to end it.
Well, they're not trying to hit home runs. They're just trying to get a good pitch and put it in play right here. I know what you're saying with extra inning games. I understand that. You get guys that want to try and be the hero.
And that's what I'm saying here. At least for Cleveland, you may be just trying to tie it with one swing. And
I don't think they're trying to hit home runs. Buchholz is throwing the ball very well. They're just trying to get hits.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I don't think we're seeing them try to hit the ball to the ballpark. I think they really are just trying to put the ball in play hard and early. And Buchholz is throwing strikes.
Yeah,
so that makes a difference. And when you do that, you have a tendency to let the pitcher throw 7 pitches in the inning.
That's okay. I mean, that happens at times. Masterson's he's done the same thing. I mean, they went out in 7 innings. They're not trying to hit home runs. They're trying to put the ball in play as well off Justin, and he's been very good himself. His last game, 1-0. He was on the losing end of it. Right now, it's a 2-1 ball game. He just needs a little offense, a little support. He's pitched on the wrong days.
Now the 1-0 pitch. Sounded like he broke his bat. Laporta. Backhanded flip to Masterson. He didn't get the bag. At least that's what the first base umpire, Rob Drake, says. Masterson, who rarely argues, does not agree. And here comes Manny Acta to pick up his cause.
Now he had it. Look at Justin over there. He would not argue. He would not argue if he didn't miss the bag. I can tell you that right now. Let him go back to the mound. That he had to blow the call. I'm right now, without even seeing a replay, I'm going to say Masterson was right. His feet are about 2 feet long anyway. How can you miss the bag? Let's get a look and see. All right, Laporta comes over, gives him the backhanded flip. Here comes Masterson going over. Steps there. Now, I can't see if he hits the bag.
Oh, yeah. You could see him kick it with his toe. Right at the end. You could see the way his foot flexed. He'll kick it right there. Watch his foot. See how his foot caught the bag?
I'm thinking he got it. Justin wouldn't argue if he didn't get it. And now you see, all right, yeah, go ahead and throw him out. That's okay. Get your money's worth, Matty.
And now the acting crew chief, Bruce Dreckman, going to come all the way across the diamond.
Sure, let him come over there. That's, you know what,
and he's
just
not going away.
Call. Good for him. Stay out there and get your money's worth.
And Manny Acta rarely comes out of the dugout to argue.
That's what I'm talking about. He's not coming out. You know why he came out? He knows Justin Masterson wouldn't say anything if he didn't hit the base. And his player told him, hey, look, I got to go protect my man. And he was right. It looked like he tagged the bag. Now he's arguing with the crew chief, who has no business over there. He was on the third baseline farther away from it than Acta was.
Well, Manny is really hot about something. Maybe it was just the way that Rob Drake was dealing with him, because he is really smoking hot.
Well, yeah, you never. Hey, Manny's been here 2 years. Never seen him that mad.
No,
that's just a blown call.
You have to wonder. You honestly have to wonder. And this, I'm not trying to blast the umpires, but they got one job. And how you miss that. Even in real time, you've got to be able to see that.
Yeah,
and
I mean, sure, there's nothing else going on. You're right there. Maloney, it's a 2-1 game.
Maniac ejected by first base umpire Rob Drake.
There it is, the earlier one. It's hard to tell for us from at this point, but like I said, his feet are about 2 feet long. I think he got the bag. His first ejection this year, and Manny was only thrown out twice last year.
Jacoby Ellsbury 0 for 2.
He'll be running.
That was a smart move right there, calling a pitch out. A lot of times, a lot of managers will put an action play on, a hit and run or a steal right after there's been a big argument or something's happened on the field. That's a smart play right there to pitch out.
But now he can go now because they won't do it twice.
Not going, popped up, back out of play. Toss over. Ellsbury, who has 15 steals, is back at the bag. Runner goes, pitch out, side, down.
Nice.
Oh, perfect throw. Got it right on the helmet.
Yes, indeed. Lou Marson, nice throw. I mean, he came up firing. It was a good pitch to throw on. But, yeah, don't mess around. Big Lou right on the money. Able to tag him, and it's on the head. He had a good jump, but look at the throw. Right there. I was told Lou Marson, with that ball going into the glove to by the time 1-8 on the throw.
He needed a 1-8. I tell you, I don't know about you guys, but I've been really, really impressed with the way our catchers
have been throwing.
Yeah,
yes,
they really have. They're quick. Their throws are firm and they're on target, and that's not an easy thing to do. And it all starts with their feet. If you watch their feet, they get their feet into position real quick and real early.
Well, that was a dandy right there.
Up high, and Dustin Pedroia draws the walk. But you're right, Lou Marson has a terrific throwing arm. You see him a lot of times before ball games, Mike. He loves to go out and throw the football. The old quarterback in him comes out. But he does have a very strong and accurate throwing arm, and that's the most important thing.
Well, it really is. You get a guy out there that can just throw, a bullet through a wall, and if he can't direct it in the right direction, it'd be accurate, at least semi-accurate with it.
Well, watch the footwork. Boom, boom, up and gone before you know it. And I mean, accurate right there on the bag where he can just he slides right into it. And Belcher made the move. Belcher calls for the bullpen, and what a great job again by Justin Masterson.
He goes 7 2/3. Drive down 2-1. Our call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world. 2-1. They have a runner at first with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Justin Masterson with another terrific job. It's just that he's up against a guy who's been a little bit better to this point. Left-hander Rafael Perez coming on for the Indians to face Adrian Gonzalez.
I am not so sure that Manny didn't go out there with the express purpose of getting kicked out to add a little energy to what was going on. Managers will do that at times, and I'm not so sure that Manny didn't have that in mind when he did it. And if that's the case, he certainly fired me up. I was ready to go down there and help him.
Well, I mean, that's good. I mean, that case in point, and he had every right to. It looked like, well, now you get out of this inning and then you have a couple chances, and they've been awfully good at home this year. So it'll take some more Progressive Field magic.
Adrian Gonzalez 0 for 2 with a walk. And a first pitch strike. This is not the first meeting between Rafael Perez and Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez 0 for 2 against Rafael Perez, but unlike a lot of left-handed hitters, this is not necessarily kryptonite for Gonzalez, who's batting over 300 against lefties so far on the year.
He can just flat out hit. It doesn't matter right-handed or left-handed for this guy.
Fouled up the third base side.
Now is when you may want to take another throw to first base, and Pedroia may go on first movement to try and protect him in this situation with 2 strikes.
Now the 2-strike pitch in the dirt. Lou with a good block.
Good job of blocking that ball and keeping it right in front of you.
The set by Rafi in the 1-2 pitch. Gonzalez with a liner to right field, and Chu can't come up with it. And Pedroia takes a dump going around second base. Right into the dirt he went. And he's able to scamper back to second. How is he all right? Well, he went around second base and went down in a heap.
He's hurt.
Now, first it was almost a terrific catch by Chu, but then I don't know what happened to Pedroia exactly.
Well, run at second. I don't know if he was looking at the ball to see if he caught it or not, or looking back, but Chu comes in and just gets under his glove, keeps it in front, and in that time he must have looked around and checking it out. You see, he's not looking where he's running. He tripped over the bag. Might have hurt an ankle.
Yeah, it looked like he rolled his ankle.
He slipped right on top of the bag. Probably because of the moisture, the rain that's coming down. You can see the mud and the cleats build up. He slid right off the top of the bag.
Looks like he's grabbing his quad or his hamstring.
Yeah, something might have. That knee doesn't look real good. The whole left side, that thing just slid off the top of the bag.
There might be a little bit of embarrassment mixed in the group. He took a tumble, though.
Yes, he did.
Watch the left foot on top of the base as it slides off and maybe rolls over on top of it. He's looking behind him. Here comes the bag. There it is. Rolls right off the top and caught it. It went down.
And then he landed hard on that left knee. And he's coming out of the ball game.
Yeah, he's not walking really well.
It almost looked like he kicked his kicked himself and caused it to turn.
So the Indians will make a pitching change with the right-handed Kevin Youkilis coming up. We'll get Joe Smith into the ball game, and we'll also get a pinch runner for Dustin Pedroia. We'll clear it all up for you when we come back. Aggressive field where Joe Smith has come on for the Indians. And a right-hander on for the 14th time this year. He'll be facing the right-handed hitting Kevin Youkilis with 2 on and 2 out in the 8th inning. And meanwhile, we get a pinch runner for Dustin Pedroia, who left the game after he fell going around second base. Drew Sutton will come on and run. Youkilis bounced into a double play his last time up. He has also flied to center, was hit by a pitch back in the second. And looks at a ball inside from Joe Smith. Rain still falling here at Progressive Field, and the wind has picked up considerably. Blowing in from the left field foul pole.
Strange long inning.
And a little bit high, 2-0. High fly ball, right field. Shin-Soo Choo is there. Looking up into the raindrops, makes the grab. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It remains Boston 2, Cleveland 1. Your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-In Value Guarantee. Well, not much to talk about for the Tribe.
No, there is not.
As Dribble Cabrera, their only run with that homer in the fourth.
But hopefully the best is yet to come.
And Drew Sutton stays in the game after running for Pedroia. Bottom third of the Indians order due up here. It'll be Jack Hanahan, Austin Kearns, and Lou Marson. Activity in the Boston bullpen. Clay Buchholz, his 84th pitch of the night, and it's fouled right back. Hanahan walked his last time up. And a breaking ball just missed, 1-1. Daniel Bard from the right side for Boston. Rich Hill, the lefty. Buchholz with a 1-1. And it missed inside. 2 balls and a strike. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, Mike Hargrove with you here at Progressive Field. Indians down 2-1. Had a steady rain falling now for the last 3 innings. Warm enough, though, that most of the fans are probably feel refreshed by the rain. Now the 2-2. High, full count. Austin Kearns waits on deck, then Lou Marson do. Here in the bottom of the 8th for Cleveland. The Indians have thrived in late inning situations at home all season long. And the payoff pitch is fouled right back in. A good hack.
Yeah, they have outscored their opponents this year 22-9 in the 8th inning. They're looking to add some more to that. A high fastball, he just fouls straight back, just above that nitro zone.
Yeah, you saw Buchholz kind of grimace a little bit after that. I think he figures he got away with one there.
His 90th pitch of the night is fouled back.
That might have been ball 4 too. That's a ball, though. It's so tough to lay off when you're a hitter. You see that fastball up above the letters, and it looks so good. You know, and by the time you commit and you have to get that barrel head out front, you realize it's a ball and you foul it off. And it's a good thing if you foul it straight back. You don't want to put it in play. Just a tough pitch to lay off.
Again, the 3-2. And it's hit on the ground in the hole. Diving attempt by Sutton, but it gets by him. And the Indians will have their leadoff man aboard here in the home half of the 8th.
Well, there's your start. Good at bat by Hanahan. The new guy comes in, that ball's going to find you. I don't care. He had to come in and run for Pedroia. And I just think Pedroia might have made that play. Sutton comes over there, and he didn't go out, tried to go on the slide. He thought he was going to reach it, and he never got to it.
I think you're right, Rick. You bring a guy in like that for injury or late inning or defensive replacement, and I guarantee you the first ball is going to be hit right at him. And it does find you. And you're right. If he dives straight out for that, he probably knocks the ball down at the very least. As it was, the ball was hit a little bit harder than he thought on this wet grass. It might have scooted a little bit and skipped a little bit faster, and ended up the ball got through.
Hasn't been out there in the elements.
Tying run at first now. Adam Everett pinch running for Hanahan. Austin Kearns has walked and doubled. He doubled to deep right his last time up over the head of J.D. Drew. Now the set. And the pitch. And it's low. Ball one. And as rain has picked up in intensity in the last 30 seconds here. Grounds crew is perched behind the tarp down the left field line. Buchholz pitches, and Kearns takes a strike at the knees.
Well, it was a good cutter. It was right at the knees if it was there. Kearns thinking it's a little low.
Yeah, I'd have to say that I agree with Austin.
Well, it's not one you want to swing at as a hitter, because if you swing at it, the best you're going to do there is probably a ground ball.
Another throw over. And Everett, who doesn't have much of a lead, was able to get back easily.
I'm not so sure, though, this track is good enough to run on right now. It has been raining. That's going to be a tough go trying to steal a base here.
The set of the 1-1. Broke his bat, rolls it towards third. Youkilis throws out Kearns, one down. Tying run goes into scoring position.
There you go, just like a bunt. Got way inside on Kearnsy there. But it's a good thing, because now the tying run gets in scoring position. Marson coming back. Is that Carrera coming out? Or Santana?
It is Carlos Santana who will pinch hit for Lou Marson here, with one out in the bottom of the 8th inning. And here comes Terry Francona.
He's waiting to hear if he's announced. Now that he's announced, he's going to the bullpen, bringing Bard.
Yep. Or does he want the left-hander to turn Santana around?
I saw him go right-handed,
okay.
I thought.
All right. We've got a timeout here in Cleveland. Carlos Santana called on to pinch hit for the Tribe in the last of the 8th. Tribe down 2-1. We are in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tribe has the tying run in scoring position, and right-hander Daniel Bard coming on for the 24th time this year. 4 days ago in a game against the Tigers at Fenway Park, he gave up back-to-back home runs in the 8th inning. He's on here to face Carlos Santana, who will pinch hit for the Tribe after Clay Buchholz went 7 1/3 innings, and of course he's responsible for that runner at second base.
He pitched a good game. There was no question. He and Masterson matched up to a very good baseball game. Bard coming on now, who leads his staff in appearances. Now for the 24th time. He's got a big curveball, and he throws in the mid to upper 90s. So this is going to be a tough go here.
Santana awaits the pitch and fouls it back out of play. 97 miles an hour. Santana. And the 0-1 swung on and missed. So 2 straight fastballs, and it's 0-2. Carlos 0 for his last 15. And Bard's 2-strike pitch. Nothing doing, turns and looks, but Everett right near the bag. Now a flash of lightning lights up the sky over downtown Cleveland. And Bard's 2-strike pitch popped him up on the infield. Youkilis at third. 2 down.
Well, he didn't mess around. He came in and he went 97, 96, 97. All fastballs, all billed high or above. And man, it's tough to catch up to that. You don't mess around. When you got a fastball like that, it's tough to square it up. 3 pitches, gets the second out. But now a guy that can will shorten that swing up a little bit. Michael Brantley.
When you throw the ball 96, 97 mile an hour, you can get away with a whole lot of stuff that you can't get away with throwing at 91, 92.
Isn't that the truth? Michael Brantley, 407 with runners in scoring position. This is a tough one here with 2 outs.
Up high for ball 1. Michael 0 for 3 tonight.
Michael's one of those guys that won't swing at that fastball above the belt. He'll make you bring it down until he gets the 2 strikes.
And the 1-0 pitch is a called strike over the outside corner.
Bard was the guy that was on the hill earlier this year on the squeeze play. Cabrera was able to put the bunt down and give up the run.
And the 1-1 pitch, same place.
Now you have to go up there and protect. I mean, 2 good pitches in a row by Bard. Look at that. Outside edge. Boy, you don't want to swing it. You're not going to hit it. And now you're up there battling.
Adam Everett, the tying run at second base. And time called. That rain falling. Not to mention pretty good wind whipping the rain around here at the ballpark. The set by Daniel Bard on the right-hander's 1-2 pitch is grounded foul.
Might be the first
I was
breaking
just
ball
going to
he's
say,
thrown.
that had to be his first off-speed pitch.
Yeah, that's not fair. You throw it up there 96, 97, 97, 96, and all of a sudden you throw an 84-mile-an-hour curveball. It's not fair.
That's why you're looking. You have to sit on the fastball, so just to get a piece of that pitch right there is something in its own right. And now as a hitter, you're sitting up there. You can't change. You just protect. You look for the fastball, and if you can do anything with the off-speed, you're lucky.
High fastball missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And you can see the catcher, Saltalamacchia, wanted that up just at the top of the strike zone, if not out of the zone, to see if they could get Brantley to chase, but he's pretty disciplined.
Come with another breaking ball here.
And the 2-2 is lined into right field, a base hit. Adam Everett coming around third. J.D. Drews throw to the plate. He is safe, and we are tied. Michael Brantley comes through in the clutch. A 2-out RBI single to right. And we're all deadlocked at 2.
Well, he tried to sneak the heater by him, and Michael Brantley, I told you, he'll shorten it up on you. Boy, has this guy been a clutch hitter. And he gets the base hit to right field, and back comes the Tribe. It's a fastball. They wanted it in. It didn't get it in enough. The short, quick swing of Brantley gets it into right field. Drew with a good arm. Everett, the pinch runner, comes in to score. Michael goes to second base and says, yes, sirree. One more base hit here, and they'll take the lead. All knotted up. So it gets Masterson off the hook. Buchholz, no decision. And the magic continues.
Yeah, that was a great at bat. I mean, he took that 2-2 pitch he took was a lot closer than what
that
we all
fastball
realized.
Up and away.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. What a terrific at bat.
And now the hottest hitter of them all for the Indians steps to the plate with a chance to give the Indians the outright lead, and looks at a ball outside. Michael Brantley able to go to second on the throw to the plate, so he's now in scoring position. A soggy crowd here at Progressive Field, but they're up on their feet. And the 1-0 to Cabrera hit well. Deep left field. Back is Crawford. It's over his head. It's off the wall. The Indians take the lead. Brantley scores into second with an RBI double as has dribble Cabrera.
Oh, boy.
It's amazing.
Cabrera. He has been magical this year.
Boy, it doesn't matter. He sits back and he drove that ball the other way. And it's just something special. This kid has been unbelievable. A couple of very clutch hits by the Indians. And watch this. Another fastball down and away. And he drives it over the head. Crawford going back. Thought he had a chance. That ball, look at, he knew it as soon as he hit it. This guy has been something special. And the Indians take a 3-2 lead. That'll do it for Bard.
Bard exits. We've got a timeout in rainy Cleveland, where the Indians now lead it 3-2. Bottom of the 8th inning, and the Indians have turned the tables on the Red Sox. Their late inning magic continues. Michael Brantley with a tremendous at bat down on the count, singles home the tying run with a base hit to right field. He goes to second on the throw to the plate, and then Asdrubal Cabrera, his 8th hit in the last 2 days, a double off the left field wall, scores Brantley with the go-ahead run. That knocks Bard out of the game, and it brings on left-hander Rich Hill.
Well, that's another big run out there. You'd always like to get that extra insurance run in. Hill coming on. He's going to end up facing Chu here in this situation. But boy, oh boy, how about that? You talk about how hard guys throw 96, 97, and for some strange reason, that at-bat Brantley had, it had to pump up Cabrera because he drives one off the left field wall.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's not easy to do.
Oh, goodness, no, it's not easy to do. You know, last time Cabrera faced Bard, he got him with the squeeze. This time he got him with a double.
I know it. I mean, it really is. Bard's saying, hey, wait a minute. You better leave me out of here.
Let's go back and look at that at bat again.
Boom. Fastball down. He knew it as soon as he hit it. You saw that arm come out, get over his head. It did. Brantley scores. That's the go-ahead run. He slides into second, and he is pumped. I mean, it's a will to not lose is what it is for these guys in this ballpark. And I don't care where you go, but you always got to go back to the pitching that keeps you in the ball game to give you this opportunity to come back.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You know, and that's what, you know, the starting pitching and the bullpen's done. I mean, they kept the game in order, kept it in line, and given the offense a chance to catch its breath and make adjustments, and it's been great.
And as Asdrubal takes off for third, and he goes in easily. Cabrera with his 7th steal of the year. Rich Hill really wasn't paying attention to him, so Cabrera just took off.
They're just worried about this third out right now. But it does give you an opportunity to score. A few more chances than it does from second base.
And a breaking ball is called a strike. Chu fouls it the other way.
Sitting on that breaking ball that time.
Yeah, he had. You could tell by his swing he was going to take him the other way, and it was a pretty good swing on it. Well, I think that what you made mention of in the top half of that inning when Manny got ejected from this ball game to fire up his ball club, it worked.
The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Chu strikes out to end the inning. But how about these Indians? Chu in the bottom of the 8th. And now Chris Perez will come on to try and close it out when we come back. Back here at Progressive Field, where these fans who have waded through the raindrops have been rewarded to this point. Tribe leads it 3-2. Chris Perez looking for his 13th save of the year. He's got a new catcher in there as Carlos Santana takes over behind the dish after he pinch hit. And Adam Everett, who pinch ran, is now in at third. David Ortiz, J.D. Drew, and Jed Lowry due up for Boston here in the ninth. Chris Perez. At home this year, his ERA is 1.64. He's given up 2 earned runs and 11 innings of work at home.
Well, he's been a little wild, I will say, as far as the strike zone goes. So he was saying he's got to talk to his catcher about sitting middle of the plate.
Austin Kearns camps under the pop-up by Ortiz, 1 down. Stay tuned after the ball game for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. Conrad's, home of the lowest everyday tire price guarantee. We'll look back at the highlights, and we'll look forward to Game 2 of this 3-game series, which comes your way tomorrow night right here at Progressive Field. J.D. Drew 0 for 3. He has grounded out twice, and he is fouled out to left field. And a little bit high for ball 1. Line drive right field and a base hit for Drew. Chu cuts it off on the warning track, but his arm is going to hold Drew to a long single, and wisely so for J.D. Drew. But the tying run is now aboard with 1 out here in the 9th inning.
Well, you know the Red Sox are not going to go quietly.
Well, it's never easy.
No, and that doesn't matter what you face. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be a finish. This crowd getting into it, though. They're wet, but they're into it.
Jed Lowry takes a strike. Lowry 0 for 3 was robbed of a hit on a terrific play by Orlando Cabrera his last time up in the 7th. And the 0-1 is way outside. Count evens at 1-1. One pitch up high. Mike, you noted to me before the game, and this is probably nothing unique for any power pitcher, but you say that at times Perez looks like he tries to overthrow, like he's trying to throw it 190 miles an hour.
Well, he does, and when he does that, his body gets out in front of his arm, and it causes his arm to drag, and he's up and away in the strike zone. When he stays together and stays back, he throws pitches that are good down in the strike zone. Right now, he's rushing himself a little bit, and it's understandable. I mean, this is a pressure situation. The guy comes in, he knows if he gets 3 outs, his team's successful, and everybody's efforts that night are for the good. And you just got to learn to dial back the intensity just a little bit.
3-1 pitch roped into right field. Chu going to have to hustle over to cut it off. He does, but the tying run is going to go all the way to third.
It's all right. You keep the double play in order.
J.D. Drew is at third base. Jed Lowry now at first, with 1 out here in the 9th inning, and Carl Crawford will be the batter.
Tough double play, mind you.
I was just going to say, now what do? Do you play your infield in for the plate, cut off run at the plate, or are you playing double play depth with the guy at the plate that can fly that's tough to double up?
Double play. Yeah, double play, and you got to hope that he hits it at one of your infielders.
Exactly.
And, Crawford not swinging a bat like he has in the past, but he has 2 hits tonight. He has scored both the Boston runs. So Chris Perez trying to come back and get an atom ball so they can turn it.
The right-hander deals. And it's up high, ball one.
He's back into, that same spot, overthrowing the ball going up and away. He's had some issues with it, and he said, control. He's going to have his catcher sit middle of the plate so he can aim to that glove and just let the natural action take its place.
Crawford pops it back out of play.
We needed that to be fair.
Yeah, I was just thinking a pop-up. Strikeout, obviously. Strikeout or pop-up on the infield would be huge for Chris Perez right here. Crawford lined out to Orlando Cabrera his last time up.
There it is.
Second.
There it is.
Orlando to his dribble. Back to first. A double play, and the Indians win it.
There it is.
Well, I'm glad we're up here and not down there.
Yes, indeed.
Chris Perez with another fist pump, a white knuckler. But he hangs in there, and the Indians hang on to win it. 3-2 the final score in thrilling fashion once again. And what else is new? The Indians are now 19-4 at home this year.
I mean, I just can't believe how that worked out. He settled in. He made his pitch.
Well, the big thing is he got ahead of Crawford. He got evened up with him to where he could use any pitch he wanted and put Crawford in a situation to where he wasn't real sure what was coming. But he had to hit it hard right at somebody, and thank goodness he did.
The Indians are now 30-15 on the year. They've won 4 straight. They've won all 4 against Boston on the year. And it is time now for our KeyBank Play of the Game, brought to you by the #1 bank in Northeastern Ohio.
Well, I'm still amazed as Dribble Cabrera comes up and hits this 96-mile-an-hour fastball to drive in the go-ahead run over the head of Carl Crawford in left field. And I mean, it gets to the wall, and boy, he has been some kind of clutch this year for the Indians. And Michael Brantley scoring that run, tied the ball game with a big base hit. That's going to be our KeyBank key play of the game.
The Indians moved to 15 games over 500 on the season with another stirring win at home. The rain has stopped, and Michael Brantley will join us on the Conrad's postgame show coming up next.